And welcome back to the most honest channel on YouTube about RVing and the RV lifestyle. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. I hope you're doing great. Now today's story starts out like so many others. A woman chasing her RV dream. Now she did her homework, she did. She found the perfect Class B van, flew out to pick it up, and like a lot of buyers, she trusted the smiles and the process. And why not? I mean, really, why not? But what happened next, you're not going to believe. Imagine buying a brand new RV, brand new motorhome, and then finding out months later in a grocery store parking lot that someone else had owned your brand new RV before you. Think about that for a second. So if you're shopping for your first RV, or if you bought many RVs before, today's video is for you. It's not a scare tactic. It's a gentle warning from someone who has seen behind the curtain. So before you follow your feelings too fast, I hope you'll watch this conversation. And if you're looking for smart ways to protect yourself before you buy, scan the QR code you see on the screen or click in the link in the description down below for free resources that will help you make the best decision possible. And please leave a comment if you would. Give today's video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. You never know. You never know when a story like this one could save you a lot of heartache and money. I have seen all kinds of situations, Kim, with RVs and read all kinds of emails, but yours is a really unusual situation and one that I hope I can help you a little bit with, but I think I found it so interesting. I think other people will as well, and it just something smells fishy to me as usual. So let's start out. Tell me about what you bought, when you bought it, where you bought it, just kind of the high level stuff, and then we'll get into how the story unfolded.
So I bought a 2023 Winnebago Solus 59PX from Camping World Medford. I live in Washington State, so I had been looking for a little bit, and they had published a new one, and I kind of kept my eye on it a little bit, and then I decided to make an offer to them, and so they accepted my offer. And
okay, so when did you buy it, and tell me about the purchase process. How do they treat you?
So I put in the offer in July 25th or 26th of 2024. And then I flew to Medford on August 2nd of 2024 to go pick it up. So the salesperson was great. She was communicative, sent me, all the things, the links to do the paperwork, to do financing and things like that. And so she was very helpful.
So the day that you actually arrived to pick and it's a brand new motorhome, right? It's a Class B van.
That's what it says.
New. All right. So how was your final walkthrough? And did you notice anything when you were walking through that didn't set right with you, or was everything good?
So I was supposed to be there. She picked me up at around noon. And so I thought I was going to go right in and do like meeting with the finance person and doing all the paperwork, and ends up, they take you through the store and have you go shopping for all the things you might need. And thankfully I had already had a trailer, so a lot of the things I just was like, no, I don't need that. So they try to sell you there first, and then I got to wait and hang out for the finance person for quite a while. And then
when did you inspect the RV? When did you go out and look at the van and walk around and say, oh, I'm so excited, and how does this work?
That was a process too. I was basically just waiting for somebody to be able to help me. So I did the walkthrough. They hadn't washed it or anything that I would have expected all those things to be done. The inside was kind of not detailed or anything. So
really,
yeah.
So, brand new unit. It's too much work for them.
It might have been. So thankfully I had watched a lot of videos on the Solus. So I had I had gone through a lot of things online on YouTube videos to kind of, so he ran through things really fast. You could tell the kid was kind of impatient and okay, let's go. So, and then I went and did the finance part after that. So
what was it like in the finance department? Because we haven't, until just this morning when you and I tried to do this interview, we've never spoken before. What was it like? Some people call it inside the box when they feel like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of getting beat up, but I'm not putting words in your mouth. But what was it like when you were in with that finance person going over the numbers? Was it everything you thought, or?
Well, no, because they had pre-populated, adding in a warranty. It wasn't, it was already, I felt like everything was like they were just anticipating you to like say yes to all the things. So it felt like it was really rushed by the time I got in there. We talked about the fact that I put a pretty good down payment on it, and then I was intending to pay it off because we were selling a business. So I was just waiting a little bit of time for that to close. So I hadn't received all the money from the business sale. So I told him that I was anticipating on paying it off. So, but they had to run it through the financing anyway. And then he goes, well, if you could wait, like, I believe he asked me to wait like 3 months to pay it off so that they could get their kickback or whatever they call them. So,
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would I do that with you when I'm going to pay interest on something that I don't have to pay interest on? So basically, I didn't even have a full month of payments. I just paid it off as soon as I could. So.
Did they go over all the things that were optional, or like I think what you said was that they just added it on, assuming that you're going to say yes to the warranty, gap protection, fabric protection, tire protection, on and on and on and on and on, which equals many, 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 many thousands of dollars.
Right. So I think I said no to like a couple of the things. I did say yes to the warranty, and then I kicked myself and I turned around and I took that back off. So they had to reimburse me for that, because after I started reading all the things about Camping World, and I was like, oh my gosh, I should have just done a little more research probably about where I was buying it from. So
okay, so far it's not a terrible experience. You're getting you're excited, brand new Class B. A lot of people want a Class B, but your brand new van, something happened not long after you purchased it. Did the planets align, or tell me what happened when you met somebody? That what the story is. I mean, this is what's unbelievable.
So I put new wheels and tires on my van because we get some snow up here. So I just felt like I wanted something to be a little more comfortable in. So I've saved one for a spare, and then I was selling the other 3. So I had been talking with this gentleman for like probably 2 months, and he was coming over kind of towards the central Washington area. So I told him that I would meet him. And so we happened.
Was this to buy some wheels and tires?
Yeah, he was going to buy one of my wheels and tires for his Solus.
Oh, he had the same kind of a van. Okay.
Yeah. So we met down in Pullman, Washington area, and met in the parking lot of a grocery store. He had his 2 daughters with him. I had my son with me. And then we started talking. We had the vans, the back doors backed up to each other. And then I don't remember how we started on the conversation of where we had bought, I said, oh, I bought mine in Medford. Oh, he had Oregon plates on his van and stuff. I said, oh yeah, I went down from Spokane and I bought mine in Medford. And then he starts looking up at the top left corner of the back of my van. And he goes, I think I have a story for you. So he proceeds to tell me that he had also bought, it had to be the exact same van because there was a teeny scuff mark, a couple inches long up on the, and I never noticed it before because it's up there far enough. I'm not very tall, and I don't get up on the ladder to wash it. I take it to a car wash and use a brush. So I've never really noticed it before. And so he notices the scuff mark and he says, I had that van. I bought it from Camping World in Medford.
But wait a minute, Kim. No, it's yours. It's brand spanking new for you, right?
Exactly. It was marked new. It wasn't marked as a demo, nothing like that. So
what's going on in your mind when you think this guy's pulling your leg? I mean, what's going on?
I was just jaw drops. And then, him and his daughters and my son they're both looking at us. And so we're just comparing this story. So he proceeds to tell me that this van that he purchased, he did it, I think the first part of June or something in 2024. And he went to try to get some warranty work on it.
Hang on. Which one are we talking? So let me just make sure I understand. You buy a brand new van.
Uh-huh.
How long after you bought it did you want to get new tires and wheels? Well, how long? A month? 6 months? What was it?
I waited till after winter, so I just put the tires and wheels on probably about 3 months ago. So.
Okay, so up until then, you were assuming that you actually bought a new van, but there was another red flag that you told me about in your email, that a brand new. Tell me about that. Let's.
So the mileage but the mileage thing didn't click with me till after he and I had kind of met. So because I figured, okay, if they even drove it from like the manufacturer to the what's it called?
To Medford.
Yeah, no, so it was in Marysville, Washington, and then it went from Marysville to Medford.
Okay.
So even if they drove it from, I think it's Illinois is where it was manufactured, is where my certificate of origin was like Illinois. So even if they drove it from there to Medford, or there to Marysville, then Marysville to Medford, that still probably would have only been like 2,100 miles. So my van had like 3,000.
200 miles.
Yeah, so it was kind of, and that, again, it didn't click with me. I was just so excited when I was buying it. They marked it as new. I don't know. I guess I just didn't really.
Okay. Forgive me for interrupting and asking the question. What? I've never heard a story like this before. You talk about the planets aligning, and I think hopefully to your benefit, because what are the chances that you would meet somebody, some stranger, that your van's back up? Was it the same kind of van that you said is a Solus?
Yeah, his was white though.
But it was the same year. I mean, it was the same. Why did he get rid of if he used to own your van? And I want to find out how you know that was his van, your van, his van. Why would he have gotten rid of that van to get the white one?
So he said there was some issues, and he went to start some warranty work. And when he said he contacted Winnebago, and they said that the warranty had already expired. So so he calls his salesperson back, and they're like, no, we'll get this straight, we'll figure it out. And they were trying to find paperwork. They were like saying that the paperwork was still in Marysville, Washington, where the van had come from to Medford. So they were giving him just the complete runaround. And so he decided that he felt like they weren't being honest with him. So he decided that he returned the van, and he demanded they replace it with a new van.
Okay, so let me just kind of backtrack here. You buy a new van, but it originated at the manufacturing plant in Illinois, but it ended up going to Marysville in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And how did it end up from Marysville down in Medford?
I believe Camping World bought the Marysville location. It was a different dealership. Okay. And so I believe Camping World purchased that dealership.
And they probably drove it down to Medford and then sold it to this guy that you met. So did you confirm and verify the VIN numbers? Did you talk with this guy that says that was his van previously?
Yeah, so I basically we met on a Friday afternoon, and I didn't sleep because he had to get back home, and he didn't have all the information, so he was having to get back home. So I think he arrived home around like Monday or Tuesday, so I didn't find out for like several days. But he sent me a clip of the VIN, and it was part of an email, I think, from the salesperson, and it had that exact VIN on it. So when I got that, I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. What is going on? So I didn't even know where to start.
So what did you do? You had to have contacted Camping World, I would imagine. And what did they say?
So, and then just some other things started making sense. Like I had to have some work done on my generator. So I took it into our local Cummins dealership, and they had to have me send in the certificate of origin because they were saying that the warranty on the generator had already been started and was expired. So I'm like, okay.
Did you tell them this is a brand new van? Exactly. Brand spanking new?
So then I had to get a hold of the service guy in Medford, have him send me the certificates. Then I had to send the certificates to Cummins, and then they ended up straightening it out, but they couldn't tell me any information like on who had it registered before, when and the why, and any work that might have been done. So I honestly still not sure what is happening.
Okay. Have you looked at your paperwork, the Camping World sales agreement? Have you looked to see if they marked it as new? They did mark it as new.
There's either new, used, or demo, and it's definitely marked new.
Definitely marked new.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you're lucky to purchase it in Oregon. And have you done anything legally? I'm not a lawyer, but and I don't like dealing with them if I don't have to. But what have you done?
So I wrote the letter that I think I sent you a copy of, and I sent it certified to the Camping World headquarters, the Camping World Medford, and to Winnebago too, because I feel like somebody's got to have a track record of what's been going on, especially with the generator part, because they did confirm at Cummins that when they when it was first registered, they didn't use like a dealer code. I guess there's a dealer code that makes it so that it's not like registered to a person technically, but there's a code they put in. So if anything needs to be done with it, then it goes under this dealer code. So,
Yeah.
so they just told me that it wasn't used. Nobody used a dealer code. So I don't know. I don't know if somebody registered the generator too.
What has Camping World said? Did you directly ask them, hey, did you sell me a new RV or did you sell me a used RV and you marked it as new? Did you ask them that question?
In the letter, yeah. So I just haven't had any correspondence yet from them.
Really?
Yeah. So
that doesn't surprise me. Have you had any other issues with the van? And maybe now do you see why the person that with the white Solus that you ended up meeting serendipitously, whatever, why they got rid of it probably? Or
I think, like he said, he was just struggling. He was tired of them saying, oh, we've got to get the paperwork straightened out. We've got to get the paperwork straightened out. The paperwork's in Marysville. We're having a hard time tracking it down. And then that's what they did to me too. When I was trying to get registered, they were telling me still that the paperwork was in Marysville. So I'm like, well, if this guy had troubles with it in June and you're still telling me the paperwork is in Marysville, like in August, why would it still be something they're trying to find when I'm buying the van? So
you've had it for not quite a year.
correct.
And you're still in this state of probably shock, I would imagine, but not knowing what do you have? I mean, by the way, when we spoke this morning, did any of that information help? Did you make a phone call to the chassis manufacturer, to the dealer?
I tried calling the Ram dealership, and then they make you do requests online. So to try to get like detail, like the person that answers the phone can't really give any information. So they said the requests all have to be done online or via email. So
I would think that somebody at Ram, if it's a Ram chassis, by looking at the VIN, you don't have to contact Camping World. I'm telling you, the Ram, the chassis manufacturer should be able to give you this information. If you have the VIN number and you tell them that there's some kind of a confusion about when the factory warranty started, and get a date on that, because it won't start, not supposed to start until you buy it. That's when the thing's supposed to start. And what was the mileage on the van when the warranty started? Because if it's got, we covered that this morning, but to me, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to play Perry Mason here, some lawyer, but it sounds like fraud. I mean, unless it's just an honest screw up, but it sounds like it's been an honest screw up. If it was a screw up and they knew that it wasn't fixed, then why would they sell it to this young lady that wants to come and put a pile of money into her dream?
Yeah. So basically, I've asked for them to provide me with how the van accumulated that many miles. If it was driven from Illinois to Washington, back to Medford, and then some test drives in there, it might make a little bit of sense, but it still seems kind of high to me. So,
but the miles to me, and this is, it's just I'm just a spectator. To me, the miles, yes, they're important, but it's the warranty. And if they defrauded you, if they led you to believe that it was new, and on your agreement, it says you're purchasing a new product that clearly wasn't new. And if the person that previously had it and has some kind of documentation, do you know how to get a hold of this person? Would they work with you?
I text him every once in a while, but I don't think what I think happened, from what I'm understanding from our messages that we have already sent back and forth, is the paperwork probably didn't get completely filed because they couldn't find everything. So I don't think that they ever reached the point where, but he left with the van. He had the van in his possession, but I don't think all the paperwork got pushed through before he decided he was done with them and wanted something different.
What do you want Camping World to do? Do you want to get rid of the van? Do you want them just to fess up and just tell you the truth?
Most fess up and tell me the truth, and then knock some money off of it because technically it's used. I paid the price for a new van, so if they want to give me some cash and maybe purchase me an extended warranty to cover things for several more years, then I might accept that. But on
my I've got a place on my videos a little QR code where people can go and find out about that Oregon lawsuit. You heard about the Attorney General. Did you read that?
Yes.
This was back in December of 24 when the Attorney General of Oregon, of all the states, the AG of Oregon said this is wrong, and they went back to Camping World and fined them $3.5 million, I think, that they had to return to customers, and that was just for 2 years. That was only for 2 years.
I did send something to the Attorney General of Washington and Oregon, since it seems to have crossed state lines. So I did also put in online.
But the dealer you bought it from was an Oregon dealer.
Yeah, but they're saying all this paperwork is in Washington, so I don't.
But you bought it from Oregon, and Camping World's going to do this, that and that, and then point at you and anybody but them, and I mean that's demand proof, and destroy if you have to. I guess is some people's.
I guess I'm just crossing my fingers that the Attorney General will be like, okay, what's this Camping World, and kind of take a look at it for me on the heel end of this whole other scandal that they have. So
yeah, that's my hope as well. I think if I had to give you some friendly advice, again, not a lawyer, but I would make sure that you were on friendly terms with the person that you ran into, that you did the tire exchange with, and somehow ask him does he have any other paperwork that he could provide for you? He likely does not want to be sucked into a lawsuit, and I'm not saying that, but it would be helpful, I think, for you to see what they had him sign. What did he have to sign?
Because he's still got to have that paperwork has to be somewhere with Camping World. Yeah. Sorry.
So, yes, Marcus Simonis is at your door from Camping World. The dog wants to bite him.
With a new van.
Get him. No, but they have to have. I would think that he kept the copies of the agreement, the purchase agreement. He may not want to provide all the information, but what you care about is the date, the mileage, the VIN number, and some important information. Because if he bought a new van and it was that VIN number, blah, 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 how could you be buying a new van with the same VIN number? That's big time. And I don't think the AG is going to say, well, that's okay, a little bit of a mistake. You lied. If it was registered before, if you sold it and you got documentation and now you sold it again, that's called a used van. That's just my belief.
Because I know there's time frames that they can take it back. So I just don't know what that consists of too.
Yeah, but still, wouldn't you think that they should have given you that information? I mean, you probably would have bought the thing anyway, but it would have been nice for the dealer to have told you instead of finding out in a grocery store parking lot.
Right. For sure.
So how is the van?
Paper trail somewhere.
What's that?
There's a paper trail somewhere.
Well, somewhere, but getting it, that sounds easy, does hard. But I would stay in touch with that person that you ran into, and stay on it. The everything you do should be in writing. I know that it's a pain in the butt, but like I said when we started out, you've got such an unusual situation. I've never heard this before, ever.
Lucky me.
But okay, here's the real honest question. How do you like the van? Do you like it? Are you happy with it?
Me too. I was telling one of my friends, she's like, would you want a new one? I said, I don't know. I said, I would have my stickers that I have on it. She's like, you can get new stickers. I'm like, but I already have memories in it. But I guess, I don't know.
So are you using it? I mean, you're getting out and you're using it, having a good time?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
They can have it back with twice the miles on it they sold it to me for, so I'm good with that.
Sell it to them new. Come on, Ken. Oh, look, I'll sign a document right here. It's a brand new motorhome. Third owner, brand new. Golly. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I wanted to talk because this was weird. I just think that full disclosure is so important. If they would have said this in the beginning, I think you probably would have. You sound like a nice person. You probably would have bought it anyway. Just don't let me find out, like I said, in a grocery store parking lot.
Right. They wouldn't have got the money for it probably that I gave them. But
that's right. Hopefully they'll get the money back, or like you said, give you the extended warranty if that's something that you want. So. Yeah. So. Anyway, how did you and I connect? I mean, did you see some of my videos? Or
some of your videos, yes. And I was just like, I need to reach out for this guy. He's great. So,
I don't know if I'm great, but I did want to get your story out there. Like I said, it is so unusual. And Oregon, if there's one state that I think that the AG, at least their antennas are up, they're alert because they have dealt with Camping World before.
right.
You hit it good on that one. And so you've written to Camping World Corporate
And Medford, yeah.
in Lincolnshire in Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
to the Medford office.
Uh-huh.
Have you talked to the Medford people, the general manager or anything?
I don't even know if those people are all still there. I feel like they always were telling me that, oh, this person quit, this person left, this person's, it was always like a big staff turnover, even in the short time that I was trying to get my title and everything set over. So
kind of a revolving door at a lot of those big dealerships. It's just,
yeah.
well, we'll work on it along with another 100 people we're working on and trying to figure things out. So, well, I wish I could give you some better news, but I think you're doing the right thing. You're writing those certified letters. I would ask for I'd ask for answers to specific questions. Did you sell me a new RV?
Mm-hmm.
And if they say yes, what do you consider a new RV?
Okay.
Get them to specifically in writing say what you bought, because I think that the more you push them, the more they're either going to delay and not answer at all. They're probably not going to lie. They're probably just going to wear you out, hope that you go away. But I would be tenacious. Right? Try to. That's what I would do.
They're vicious.
3 chihuahuas, baby. Mine might come in here any minute.
Oh goodness.
Well, thank you for contacting me, and I hope that this helped, and I hope that this will bring some much needed attention to your situation.
I hope so too. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Kim's story isn't just unusual, it is almost unbelievable. She did her research. She asked questions. She flew across state lines, and yet she ended up with someone else's RV, sold to her as brand new. And she was lucky, I think. Most people would never find out what Kim did, ever. And I'll just bet the dealer, I'll just bet Camping World assumed Kim would never find out and things would just move along with her staying in the dark. By the time of today's video, folks, Camping World still hasn't made things right. If you're watching today's video, as a dreamer, as a future RV buyer, or someone who's just beginning your RV journey, I hope that you'll let Kim's story be kind of a turning point for you. Don't stop dreaming, though. Don't stop dreaming, but do slow down, just long enough to think. You'll find free resources to help guide your RV search by scanning the QR code you see on the screen down here, or check out the link in the description down below. It's all there to help you make the best decision possible. Leave a comment if you would down below. Share this video with someone you care about. And don't forget to subscribe. Again, if you're looking for resources, looking for trustworthy dealers, lemon law help, or smart tips to guide your RV journey, visit my free resource page by hitting the QR code or clicking on the link down below. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.